But speaking of the All-Star Game, Doug, I always like this story because you know how big divas the big stars in the NBA are. Look, LeBron and Kevin Durant were named captains for next month's NBA All-Star Game, and they're going to pick their teams on March 4th. I always love it, even though players say no. Guys don't want to be that last pick. You're getting down to the end. I don't want to be that late. Kevin Love was the last pick the first time around. I'm fine being I'm fine. No, I'm still an All-Star. I'm still an All-Star. It doesn't matter. You don't want to be that last pick because they all come out. We all find out who the last pick is. Nobody wants to be that last pick.
I said it as soon as they came up with this idea that the problem is not the first pick. The problem is the last pick, right? I mean, no one wants to be the last guy in the playground like, okay, yeah, we'll take Kevin. We'll take Kevin. Sure. I mean, look, there's parts of the All-Star Game. I think the basketball All-Star Game should be the best of all of them because truth is, you can play relatively hard and no one get hurt. It's not like football or baseball you can throw out an arm. The likelihood of getting injured is so moot. But I haven't found it watchable. I haven't watched it in years. I don't think I've watched an NBA All-Star Game since Magic hit that last shot of his. In a professional basketball uniform.
Oh
right?
man! And he put it up and just started backing. I think he was the first guy to do that. Hit that shot and just back away like that. Yeah. I think he put that in the lexicon.
But the funny part is like on paper in a normal year, All-Star Game Atlanta. This is great. Atlanta's a great city, a great NBA city. It's got TNTs right there, whatever. Now you're like, this is a disaster. The funniest part is how the players don't like the All-Star Game, but there's still guys that are heated about who is a starter in the All-Star Game, right? How can you leave Damian Lillard out? Like, well, we put Luka Doncic got voted instead of him. When the truth is, like, Donovan Mitchell probably having a better year than both of those guys. But okay, so you don't like the All-Star Game, but you do care who's voted an All-Star starter. Got it. Noted.
Yeah, look, it's part of what I love about the NBA because there's this. You can tell the top 0.1% of the league, and that's all the guys playing the All-Star Game, just care so much about any kind of slight, both real or imagined. Look, they came up with the player awards because they didn't like the awards that was being given out by they didn't like the MVP six-man coach. No. We're going to have our own player awards, right? We got to have because we're going to give these awards out to the guys that we like. You can't give out awards to people. We have to do it. The minutia that players really care about in the NBA is just awesome. It's like seeing that window. Like when you watch a nighttime TV show, a big drama about like a very rich family, right? Something like Succession. You see, here's a family that has all kinds of money. They have everything, and you see, oh my goodness, the minutia and the stuff that they wind up fighting about is just so petty, but it's just so entertaining. I kind of feel like that's the NBA a bit.
Yes, it is needlessly dramatic, but part of it is it's the nature of not just social media but media. It's the nature of guys figuring out how they can become big stars regardless of what they do on the court. But I also think it's a desire for the league to create something where we care about the regular season because otherwise it's pretty hard to care about a good portion of the regular season.
Joining us now on the hotline, 10 years in the NBA, longtime NBA analyst. He is a sharp dresser as well. You can follow him on Twitter at the Ryan Hollins. That is at the Ryan Hollins. It's Ryan Hollins. What's happening, man?
What is going on, fellas?
Dude, been a minute. Are you going to play in the All-Star Game? No players want to play. Maybe you can get in and go play a little bit.
Hey, that'll be a first, fellas. That'll be a first.
You give a couple of up-downs, right? You go up and down the floor like 2 or 3 times.
It is interesting. It's like, look, we all know this is taking place because of the Turner thing, the TV thing, and like this is just a legit discussion you have to have with the player association. Like, I know we don't want to do it, guys, but this is how we got to do it to pay all the bills. How should they be processing the fact that this has to be done, even if nobody wants to do it?
Here's the reality. You hit it right on the head, Doug. You can't have it both ways. When it comes contract time, and we want more money. As players, you got to step up and do the tough job. So, those all-stars have to go out and represent our league. And I had talks with Adam Silver, and one of the, amazing things that Adam really pointed out is, hey guys, we can't take LeBron James for granted from a standpoint of growing the league. This is a guy who will step out and continually play 82 games, takes care of his body, and works hard. So behind the scenes, from a business aspect, you got to appreciate guys like that who are sacrificing their time and almost seem in this date and time penalized for becoming all-stars. But guys, don't disregard the first-timers. You mentioned if you're Zach LaVine, how that guy's going to feel. He's like, heck nah. We playing this all-star game no matter how it looks. We better show up. This is my first one. So hats off to the guys for going out and playing. But this is a part of the rich NBA tradition that players have to understand. We can't let COVID or anybody or anything take from us. And All-Star Weekend is always very, very special.
Now, are the players really mad? Because, when Doug and I got into this last hour, it was like, well, we have to show that we're mad at you and we really don't want to play this game, even though we're okay with it. Like, deep down, are the players okay with going here, or are they, no, they're mad and they really don't want to play this game?
No, here's what's tough is when you were told that you weren't going to have the game, and guys went out and scheduled, actual vacation plans, and now they can't have their vacation. Or they put in their mindset, okay, this is how the season is going to look, man. As an athlete, you're a creature of habit. You already have in your mindset your day, your meal, your leisure time. Everything's already mapped out. So, when you hit guys with a curveball, that's more the frustration from the players. It's not necessarily that they're going to get a couple more games or days in Cancun. It's more so, like I said, they are hit with a curveball. They did not expect to have this. It wasn't like, hey, put in your mind we might have it. It was like, no, right now we're not having it.
Don't say Cancun right now. Right now, Cancun is the place you're not supposed to go. I'm just
sorry, guys. Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Right,
I'm just kidding. I got down with this. I was going to be with my family, and I felt like it was a bad idea. No one ever got on a plane to Cancun and was like, this is a bad idea. Plane to Cancun sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Anyway, Ryan Hollins is our guest on the Dan Patrick Show with Jason Smith. I'm Doug Gottlieb. What did we learn from last night, Lakers Nets?
I think you got to put some respect on the Nets name, man. Joe Harris is an absolute dog, and when I look at the Lakers, they seriously lack rim protection, man. Doug, we talked about that. If they can't protect the rim, it's not so much they're going to get destroyed by Joel Embiid or Jokic or someone playing out the post. Championships aren't won at the post right now, not since Hakeem. But in all reality, when teams can just drive down the teeth of your defense and get a layup, or you have to now exert so many resources over to stopping a guy at the rim, now you're giving up open three-pointers. And Joe Harris, you got three of the arguably the greatest isolation players that we've had in the last decade or so in the NBA, and then you got Joe Harris who doesn't miss. Now you got a guy you can't help off of. Guys, that's pretty darn tough.
All right, well, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you here because I do think the Nets seem like they figured out how to win in the regular season, right? Whether it's 2 stars are playing or 3 stars are playing, they've figured that out. But their defense is awful, and they're going to get into the teeth of the playoffs, and suddenly, beating Cleveland 147-135 is great. You get the W, but, that's not going to be the case when you're playing some of the best teams in the East if you get to the NBA Finals against the Western Conference champion.
Well, here's the plus for the Nets. If I'm Andre Drummond or Blake Griffin or JaVale McGee for some odd reason, I know his name hadn't been mentioned, or a shot blocker that comes available in the buyout market, would you rather go to the Nets where you're going to play all the minutes in the world, or would you rather go take the Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee role with LeBron James with the Lakers? So they're telling you that they need you, but they're not really going to commit to playing a center. That could come back to bite the Lakers. They committed to Gasol, and, it's my former teammate right there. He's an excellent passer, high IQ, does everything on the offensive end. But, defensively is what they need. They didn't need scoring or passing from the center spot. I think the Lakers want to turn into this offensive juggernaut, but that's not the move, and that's hurting them. And if I'm a free agent center right now, is Ryan Hollins available? I don't know, guys. I go to the Nets and just play to my heart's content.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do with their bench, right? Is going to fill it out with buyout market guys. I mean, the question is still, can the offense, can you have 2 non-defensive players in a starting lineup or in a finishing team and win? Or can, can Kyrie and James Harden defend enough for you to win? And it's a great question, one we don't have the answer for. I don't know if you saw this. Danny Ainge came out and said, "Hey, we're not a championship team right now." What does that mean when you hear it? I mean, they have people regard Jason Tatum as a burgeoning superstar, and yet here he says we don't have a championship team. What is Danny really saying here?
Danny, I hope that means you about to make a championship trade, because the piece you need is a shot blocker, and you see the importance, guys. And Doug, I was talking about this with Brendan Haywood the other day. Think about
all you big guys. You know what they need? They need a big guy. They need a big guy like me or like you. They need us. They need us. Sorry, go ahead. All these big guys.
You're right. That's the piece of it. They need Drummond. They're going to get in the Drummond market too, and maybe that's the team that pulls the trigger and makes a trade for Drummond, so he doesn't get on the buyout market, and you kind of stifle the Nets. Maybe that's the move that's made. But ultimately, let's record back, guys, and I think this was left kind of unsaid. Remember when Marcus Smart, in the playoffs last year, they lost to Toronto. Toronto was kind of, urging to kind of come back, and he just blew up and said, "You guys are soft. You don't play hard. If you don't want this, leave the team right now." That team had a bit of a blow up in the playoffs that maybe is looming over, guys. So I'm going to take a look at that Celtics situation, a little tighter, and see the need of Marcus Smart in the lineup.
Ryan Hollins, our guest here with us on the Dan Patrick Show. Jason Smith, Doug Gottlieb in for the guys today. All right, so when it comes to LeBron last night, we watched him score point number 35,000, right? One of only 3 players now in NBA history to get there. He's probably the rest of this season, another season and a half from becoming the all-time leading scorer. Right? We watched Tom Brady win the Super Bowl at 42, 43. He has weapons around him, and he wants to play now till he's after 45. LeBron James is kind of the same guy. I mean, he's still playing at such a high level at 36. If he's got guys around him like Anthony Davis, how long do you see him being able to play like this? Can he play like this till he's 40, into his 40s?
Athletically, he's going to, continue to lose a little bit. But, LeBron's an anomaly. You go from being a top 1% athlete that we have ever seen in the history of athletes, jumping from the free throw line and going through the legs in an actual game, to being a really, really good NBA athlete. So to answer your question, I see at least 2 more years. But LeBron's 3-point percentage has gone up. We saw last night he's sliding over into that mid-post and just knocking down fadeaways at will. LeBron's footwork is impeccable at this moment. He's so intelligent, guys, that he's able to transform his game. And if you don't believe me, maybe you've forgotten because he's been doing it for so long. Go watch rookie LeBron James. Go watch what his 3-point shot looked like, okay? Go watch his form. Go watch how heavily he relied upon athleticism. So LeBron James is setting himself up, to play, I would say, another 2 years at a high level with Doug and Jay. You can credit LeBron for a championship and still say, in the next year, hey, man, he was the best player on the championship team. He was the best player on that team because, LeBron's stronger than that as an ox. In the way the league is trending with small ball, LeBron ain't in there getting beat up. LeBron's got point guards trying to guard him on the mid-post and smaller guys. So, he's still having a field day. His strength and skill set is really exceeding, and the league has transformed to extend LeBron's career out.
Yeah, no, it's just really interesting. He got away with bully ball for so long, and yet now he's attached kind of the skill of shooting the 3, the skill of that mid post stuff, and the fadeaway stuff, which is kind of, I think, obviously going to really help him. And now there's a lot of Magic Johnson to how he's playing now, even defensively, where Magic wasn't a good defender, and LeBron's not nearly the defender he used to be, but his leadership and kind of playing the safety there, free safety there, and telling everybody else where they're supposed to be allows them to take a little bit of a break sometime, even though his team plays exceedingly hard. Okay, if Ryan Hollins was a voter and you have one last Western Conference starter, would it be Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, or Donovan Mitchell? Go.
Damian Lillard. Oh, man, close your eyes and pick that one. Damian Lillard, Dame time he's been on fire. We've seen some of those. You need like the AllStar moments or MVP moments. Like we're questioning Damian Lillard if he keeps this up. He's in these MVP talks. On the outskirts. So we're gonna have to add Damian in there. The only thing that I think is questioning for really being in the MVP running is like, he'll have a span where he misses a number of games or he gets that, that random injury that he ends up having to sit out for. But Damian Lillard, by far, at this point in his career, he's earned it. If I'm giving him that last spot, guys, it's Lillard. Now, I do like Mitchell and what he's been able to do with the record up there in Utah. I think they play great as a committee. I like Donovan. I just don't love him. But I think by seniority alone, we're going to have to go with Dame, guys.
Why are dudes so down on Luka in comparison? Is it the fact the Mavericks don't play any defense? Or why would they be so down on him?
They lost Seth Curry, man. Seth Curry was, guys, he's not going to get credit for how special he was on that team. Like, Doug, a guy off the ball that can run the point. He can shoot, 50, 40, 90 guys. He just kind of makes shots and kind of tougher than he looks. Look at the difference in Philly. Now, I'm not saying it's all Curry and that Embiid's not playing well, but, that is a golden piece that they missed out on. And Luka coming in with the shortened offseason, the injuries. And then, the one thing for young players, they got to find out how to change. LeBron James and his veteran leadership and just experience, he can switch gears from a season to a season. Okay, this is season LeBron, this is playoff LeBron. Luka's going to have to find out how to do that and how to play with these Knicks and Knacks. But yeah, Doug, defensively, they're horrific, man. And they've been a big letdown. They went from having arguably the best offense in the league last year to just kind of pedestrian. Josh Powell's injury, him working back, I thought he was really good for the Mavericks last year. He's not quite the same guy. So Dallas has their work cut out.
You can follow him on Twitter at the Ryan Hollins. That is at the Ryan Hollins, 10-year NBA vet, NBA insider. Buddy, appreciate it, man. As always, enjoy the weekend. Have fun.